Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is January the 1st, and I just wanted to say Happy New Year to all of you guys. As you know, I was off the air for about 36 hours from our last live on Monday, packing, getting things ready for the trip. I am now officially en route to Ukraine. You can see boarding passes here, and all of our documentations are there, and passports, and ID cards and all of this jazz. Guys, the bottom line is we're ready. We're rolling out of the United States right now. A couple of flights here, and then I'll head over to Europe. I'll be met by my team in Warsaw, and I'll catch a couple of trains and get into Ukraine. I'm looking at about 40 hours of travel. 40 hours of travel. I can also tell you that a really good member of our community, Max made a very nice piece of art. I'm going to put that into a community post later, but I just wanted to say thank you. I do want to give you a couple of key stories today, though, as we're traveling, as we're thinking. I can tell you right now that some interesting things have unfolded here on January the 1st. The first thing I want to say, though, is just our thoughts and prayers are with those at the tragedy in New Orleans, and where other places and other tragedies have unfolded over this holiday weekend and the New Year's holiday, when people just want to destroy things that are good. And that reminds us of what Vladimir Putin is doing in Ukraine, trying to destroy what is good. A couple of key stories that we need to pay attention to is I can confirm multiple sources. It should be in the news where you're seeing it. I'm not on the news, of course. I'm traveling. I'm watching my sources, talking to my friends. But as of 7 a.m. this morning, Ukraine time, the gas has been cut off on the transit pipelines through Ukraine into Europe. So let me confirm that the gas pipelines have been turned off. Volodymyr Zelensky came through and did what he said he would do. This is a phenomenal thing to do. Please hear me. What would have been worse is if you threaten it and then do not do it. See, those are the things that Vladimir Putin will be looking for. Will you threaten and then will you do? We know also that there was a large drone attack throughout Ukraine overnight, up to 100 drones, about 60% of those taken off, 30% went off course. And as I told you before, with the AI that is now running in the drones, just because they're lost off course does not mean that they're not going to try to find some type of target and hit it. Regardless, it was a good night for the air defense. I can tell you, we do have a fatality due to a drone strike. We have people wounded in the rubble there in Kyiv. And I can also tell you that one of the drone strikes landed very near to the office of the president of Ukraine, Zelensky. Now, of course, he most likely was not there or any of those things at the time. Regardless, it still shows what is in the mindset and the evil that comes out of Russia. For sure, that general central area there in Kyiv was the target area. So additionally, in speaking again back to the pipeline issue and the energy issue, Robert Fico already coming out today and saying, so we now will see an end to this war. Like, absolutely, once again, puppeting Vladimir Putin statements. It's interesting to me why he has not received more criticism, more condemnation for talking Putin's points in regard to war, energy. You know, he came out after Zelensky called it the second front you're opening against us on the energy front, and Fico comes out and starts rebuffing that. The bottom line is, guys, Slovakia is turning out to be a little bit of a problem here. Not the Slovakian people, but that leader Fico, who is definitely sitting around the table with Vladimir Putin. Now, fortunately for us, Poland has already come and stepped up and said, regardless, we will pick up the pace. We will supply energy if it is needed. Now, when we talk about the energy war and the second front, this will open up other things that have been projected. Number one is the Transnistria region. I'm sorry, I'm just on my phone here in the airport. The Transnistria region down in Moldova, south and west of Ukraine, bordering the Odessa, bordering down there below the Khmelnytsky and Vinnytsia, all those oblasts down there where Moldova is. That Transnistria region, that is absolutely Soviet controlled, having the gas turned off to Tiraspol, the capital city of that region. Of course, Chisinau is the capital of Moldova. But 80% of power has now stopped to Transnistria region. So now what will be the result of that? Because Vladimir Putin sincerely believes that the Transnistria is his region. There are up to 1,200 Russian troops. There are Russian supplies. There are bunkers and bunkers of military shells and weapons there in the Transnistria region. We have talked about that for years, and it's just kind of been dormant over the last 18 months or so. But now with the energy war kicking in, this second front, with Ukraine being proactive, turning off the pipeline, Slovakia and Fico coming out and saying, ho, bad move, you can't do that. This is doing nothing but support your initiatives. This is doing nothing but being anti-EU. And there is no way, as he said, that Russia can be defeated on this front. These are some of the talking points earlier, and I have a video earlier if you're just catching up and we're not able to see that a few days ago. The bottom line is today, 7 a.m. Ukraine time. Of course, it is now, as I'm recording this in the airport, 12:20. So it's 7:20 in Ukraine there. So this was 12 hours ago that the pipelines were turned off. Now, Vladimir Putin did suggest that he would start to strike the pipelines and other energy infrastructure places if Ukraine followed through and turned off the pipelines. So you know what? That is good news, dear friends. Good news. Now the ball is squarely in the court of Vladimir Putin, because he has now seen that Volodymyr Zelensky, being a good, solid, strong wartime leader who does what he says, and he does things that can make a difference, whether it's visiting frontline troops, international negotiations, jumping on planes, going to DC, going throughout Europe, getting right into the zero line with the soldiers, going into underground hospitals, whatever it may be. He does everything he can possibly do to be the best president he can. And today was a bold move. Yes, turn the pipelines off. So now, what will Vladimir Putin do? What will the Russian war machine do? What happens next? I don't know, but I can tell you, prior to this, just days ago, Russia said they would absolutely strike hard if the pipelines were turned off. Thankful, Ukraine being further supplied with air defense, the new orders, the new supplies coming in with the recent Joe Biden release, up to $1.23 billion worth of aid. Instant now, $1.25 billion going back into the American economy, into infrastructure, and into military production. We just need it to get there now, because I'm pretty convinced we're going to see an increase now on strikes on the energy systems as we go forward. I don't know, but this is what we should be looking for. That's where we're at. Everything else stable. The front lines, the movements, the troop movements. Ukraine celebrating the new year. Had a great images there at the statue in right downtown Kyiv by the bridge on the river Dnipro. President Zelensky's New Year address was powerful, moving, just phenomenally strong as we go forward. And now it's my joy and my honor to get my rear end over there in Ukraine, be your hands, your eyes, your feet, and deliver aid and love to the front, to civilians, to wounded soldiers, to do everything we can. Thank you for being here with us. The journey is just beginning. Keep you updated as much as I can. Once I get into Ukraine, of course, we'll be looking at daily lives and videos like crazy to update you, and so that you can share in the journey. So guys, I'm getting ready to board a plane. You be blessed, and we'll talk to you soon. Slava Ukraini, Geroim Slava.